It's Triple Crown, Saturday, June 7th, 2025, day 2 of the Midwest Monster. Ready to run it back. Friday was good. Not spectacular, but good. That vlog is up on the channel already if you want to go check it out. If you already have, though, you're in the right spot because we're going to continue on with part 2 and see what happened on Saturday. Hang tight. Let's get into it.
Josh Jacobs cracked ice.
I mean, I'm not trying to get hooked on it, but
probably good in there. The Alonso and the David Wright auto.
there's a couple different ones.
Can I just see this?
Hollow.
Can I see the roof? I love Sterling.
I do too.
Such a clean product.
Did you guys get any of it for this year?
Yeah, a case. Yeah, one case. Still have it. We'll see. Can I see the bets?
Yeah.
Let me start with these and then maybe on that. Let me see what you want on those first.
This will be a very good test for what I have preached in my last few videos. I'm working a deal here with Ryan CC2. We've done many deals before. The first part of it is going to be this small stack that we're working on right here. I won't come off of my sticker too much here again. I think that a lot of these are really fair. They are cheaper cards, and by cheaper I mean $50 or less and that kind of stuff. I can't move too much on just because $5 off a card like that is much heavier weighted than say $5 off a card that I have at $200. And because of that, I'm going to try to stay as close as possible to my sticker, which is, I believe, $265 if I recall correctly. The real test will come with the Ozzie Smith Bat Barrel Auto. That's a card that I acquired in the previous vlog. Since I have put it out, it has garnered a lot of interest, caught a lot of attention as people walked by, but I do not need to move it right away. I don't need to cave in at the very first negotiation and just take a number that is profitable for me. That is a mistake that I have admittedly made on cards that I have acquired before that were higher end. By higher end here, I'm going to say over $1,000. And just because I have interest in it right away doesn't mean that I need to move. I need to make sure that I get the number that I expected to get for it when I made that decision to make the trade. If enough time had passed, then maybe I do that, but certainly not 12 hours later.
250 on those.
Closer to 230.
I couldn't move much more. I had to be at 250.
What do you have on that? Mushroom?
What are you thinking?
I don't know. What'd you tell me? 1750?
Yeah.
And I want to be a little less. I would have said closer to like, when I first saw it, my first thought is it's like worth 15. So I would have said closer to like 14.
Okay.
So I would have said like 14 and then your number there.
I can do 14. I think the best I can do for you now would be 1850 for all of them.
I don't have a ton of optimism towards this deal at this point. When he started off at 14, that in my head kind of told me, okay, well, if I come down to my bottom for him, which is truly 1600, I think he'll probably try to meet at 1500, and I just can't do it. I quoted him 1750. That would have been my sticker, again, if I had my label maker on me. But coming down to 16 is truly going to be the bottom. I didn't feel like kind of leaving a little bit of extra room there to come down one more time. I just went right for it. Perhaps in hindsight, I should have just said 1900 instead of 1850. That would have been 250 on that stack and 1650 on the Ozzie Smith. But I went straight for it, and truthfully, I really wanted closer to 1650 to 17 on the Ozzie Smith. But for a repeat customer, I would come down to that 16. However, I just can't move more than that, and I really need to hold firm to that right now.
So that either put you at 16 there and 250 there, or however you want to spread it out.
No shot at 1750?
There is a 1500 on the Ozzie Smith that I expected. But one thing that is going to happen here is that Ryan is going to come back with one more offer, which I wasn't really expecting, and that is going to even test my resiliency even more here.
I love keeping that kind of stuff. You just don't, they're just so unique. And when you compare to like what you can get that for in like other cards, like, you know, what does $1,500 buy you across the market? You know, that's the price of like a, I mean, I think a Jaden Downtown Donruss 9 is like 1,200. So I'm like that and a couple $100 for this. Like it just seems a little off. So
Right.
the unique stuff like this, I love buying and just
Yeah, it's all perspective,
collecting.
right?
Yeah.
This is a really good perspective. I wanted to make sure I included this in the midst of our negotiations here. But I love moving into these types of cards like the Ozzie Smith just because there is not a whole lot to go off of, and I feel like you get really good bang for your buck when you buy cards like these. This isn't to discredit the Jaden Daniels downtown that Ryan alludes to here. I mean, a rookie downtown is cool. I'm a fan of the downtowns, kind of before the whole AI art thing, but different topic for a different day. But that's not to say that that card's not cool, but there's a lot of them out there. They transact very often as well, and I kind of like the challenge of finding cards that don't sell as often. I've been asked that before. Would you prefer a card that has 100 sales or one sale? My answer is that one sale, because I feel like sometimes that I can see things that other people may not be looking at, and I have a pretty good gauge of what might be undervalued or where opportunities may lie that others may not be able to see.
Yeah, the last one I could find from another year did 1525. So that's like me basically paying like 1550 on that, and then your number on this. It's like in September, I think.
I'll show you another one if it makes you feel better.
Oh, you found another one?
It's a similar card. It's not. It's a different product. It's a sticker auto. I kind of like that barrel a little bit more. I don't know what it is. It has like more of an old school feel than like the etched person name.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if people would be more nostalgic about an old product like that, but it is a sticker and that's on it.
Yeah.
So half a dozen in one hand.
1550, 250, 18.
1850.
You're killing me. I'll take these. I'm gonna pass on that.
All right. Yeah, sorry, it's just too cool to not.
No, I get it.
Was definitely not expecting him to come back at that 1800 number, meaning that he would be at 1550 on the Ozzie Smith. Now I know right away there will be some people thinking, really, you couldn't have come down an extra $50 on a deal that large? And the answer is yes, I could have, but I'd already come down 150 off my sticker. I was at 1750. I already came down to 16. You know, you might say, well, what's another $50 at that point? Well, from 1550, what's another 50 when we're down to 15 flat? Or then what's another 50 from there to go to 1450? And what's another 50 from there to go to 14? I mean, we can go on with those types of hypotheticals there, and there has to truly be a bottom dollar at some point. I have to stick to what I'm thinking on this card. I just received it. It's not like I've been sitting on it for 6 months where, you know, cash flow starts to be a concern and I want to make sure that I'm able to move off of it. I feel very confident in being able to get 1600 out of it. I really love the card. In fact, I feel confident in getting even more than 16 out of it if I really stick to it. Now, that being said, if someone sees this video and says, you said you do 16 then, will you do 16 now? Fair play. I will definitely do 16 then, but hey, sometimes you're just a little bit too far apart, and that's okay. We're both cool with it, and it's no big deal.
That freaking Aussie's sick. Aussie is freaking beautiful.
Oh, that is.
You see that?
Yeah.
Crazy. How much is the Aussie, if you mind me asking?
1750.
Sick. Beautiful. That is crazy. Is the Glavin still sealed?
Yeah.
Can you do 170?
I could do 180.
I'm not gonna go over that. All that. Appreciate it.
Yep.
You have a 20, right?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you.
They are.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
What are we staring at here?
The Schwarber.
Yeah. Cool one.
Which
Sure.
one?
The Schwarber.
The Schwarber.
The Transcender or the Sapphire?
Oh, that's a good
transition. The Transcendent.
Which one? There's like two right there.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
That screams Zap to me. Like any card did. I don't know.
Let's do 125.
I can do that. I would do 140.
I like the little bounce, the little pep there.
It helps me think.
I feel it. Oh, sorry guys, if I get your way there.
It's the first year of Transcendent.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine actually has probably 6 or 7 of those.
Yeah.
Of that Schwarber. So I mean, there's not
not many of them out there.
Yeah, it doesn't pop up too often.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Let's do it.
Both these gentlemen end up making a deal with me for the Glavin Dynasty and the Schwarber Transcendent. And I find it kind of ironic because I had 2 separate conversations with good friends of mine about my new pricing system, in which both of those specific cards came up in each of those conversations. One of my friends who I was talking with about the Glavin, I told him, Dynasty, I really love that Dynasty stuff. I feel like I should just put a number out there and just stay firm on Dynasty. And decided to bump it up just a hair to 200 instead of keeping it at 180, and we got it done. The Schwarber, same thing, along the same lines. I'm more partial to Dynasty than I am Transcendent, but that card, I wanted 140 for it. I had a 150 sticker. I had a friend of mine say, well, why not just put a 140 sticker on it? And I went back and forth and settled that 150 sticker to be talked down to 140. Would I have lost those sales if I had just marked them as prices marked? I don't know, but it worked out in this situation.
130.
I could, yeah.
And could you do 130 on that?
Sure could, yeah.
Okay, I'll grab those 2.
You have a question, sir?
Can you get to 40 on that, Mahomes?
I'm only from at 50 on it.
Thank you.
340 is what I eat, right? No, 360.
Yeah. Yep. Sweet.
Go check that for me.
He said like 65-70%. I'm like, you can't compete. I know. I'm saying
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
Thank you.
That was pretty much it. Day 2, I had some smaller sales, nothing that I felt like really warranted a deep dive analysis on. And overall, the buys just really weren't there. I think part of what hurt me is that the dealer who was set up directly across from me, if you want to say dealer, was someone who had just bought the table to come in early and buy. It seemed like they were a buyer for a repacker based on how they had negotiated with me. They might have spent a total of 2.5 hours at that table throughout the entirety of the show, both Friday and Saturday. And then a few of the other dealers kind of in the vicinity had packed up early. So if people saw, kind of a big blank space around me, then it might have deterred people from coming over, which kind of sucks. I don't really have anything else to say about that. It just kind of is what it is. I tried to make the most of it. And around like 4:30-ish with the show kind of winding down and a lot of people having already packed up or packing up, I decided that I would try to do a little lap around, see what I could find before heading on back home. And I did find this. I made a trade for this card here. Again, this is the type of stuff that I'm looking to move into. Really sweet Eli Manning booklet auto from Top Supreme. This is the final year they made the product, as they lost the license the following season. But it's of Eli Manning. I figured it was a very appropriate card to pick up ahead of my next card show destination, which would be Fanatics Fest in New York City. Now, I am not setting up on my own. I am assisting a friend who is setting up. I will have a few of my cards out, but it will not be a full-on Triple Crown setup. And the vlog will probably look a little bit different. It will be more about my experience and kind of the narrative-heavy one that you see in a lot of the videos. But I still can't wait to share that with you, and I will be doing that soon. Not sure when, but soon. Until then, though, take care, stay safe, and be kind.